Hi everybody, it's Dorothy and I'm a makeup artist. I'm back again to do my second video on viral foundations. Today I will be reviewing the KVD Beauty Good Apple Foundation Balm, and the packaging looks like this. Please disregard the color. I know it's dark for me, but unfortunately shopping for makeup has become so difficult in a pandemic because you really just have to go based on a picture of the product online and the product description without having tested it or swatched it to tell if it will really actually match your skin. So yeah, finding a foundation or any kind of base product is pretty painstaking. In any case, I've actually already tried this foundation before and filmed a whole review on it, and I had used a new powder with it as well, and I think that may have affected my experience of the foundation. So I didn't think it would be fair, considering the powder wasn't exactly performing up to my standard. So I decided to refilm this video today using my usual powder that I know and love. Okay, so, you know, in my previous video about this foundation, I had mentioned that this particular foundation probably has gone the most viral out of all of the foundations I'm going to speak about in this series. It's been all over TikTok, it's been all over Instagram, it's been all over YouTube, you name it. And a lot of people on TikTok and Instagram have been showing these videos with them just kind of like really smashing a brush in there, swirling it around multiple times, and then doing one swipe on their cheek and being like super amazed at this coverage. And you know, it was just, it seems all very dramatic and theatrical for a makeup product, and I also think it's very misleading and unnecessary. Now, this product in and of itself is marketed as a full coverage product. Applying it basically heavily defeats the purpose. Why do I say that? Because you don't need a lot in order for it to be full coverage. It is inherently full coverage already. So even in the sheerest of layers, you can have really great coverage. And, you know, I've seen a lot of people on YouTube review this product and give mixed reviews, or bad reviews even, because they're applying it as they see it on Instagram or TikTok. They are over applying it, essentially. So, you know, as a makeup artist, I'm going to explain to you how I would apply a full coverage product. Now, as I mentioned previously in my last video, I am a dry, dehydrated skin. So I use my usual skin prep. I hydrate, I moisturize essentially very well before using any kind of base product to give it the best possible result. And then what I did is I took a foundation brush. It looks like this. This is the Sephora Pro Foundation number 47 if you're curious. So it's kind of like a hybrid between a paddle brush and a buffing brush. And I just barely grazed the top of the foundation product, and I picked up the slightest amount. I would apply this foundation over my prepped skin in very thin layers until I was satisfied with the coverage in any given area. So overall, on my skin, there is a very thin, sheer layer of coverage. In the last video and in this video, I can say that, you know, this product, if your skin is prepped right, applies beautifully. Unfortunately, I had reviewed another foundation as well a few days ago and had a pretty bad reaction to it. It made me break out. I'll post that video after this one, but it made me break out, and then it made my skin peel, oddly enough. So, you know, I am trying this again, but unfortunately it's over skin that's a little bit compromised. But because I have already previously filmed a video reviewing this foundation when my skin wasn't compromised, I know that this foundation, when your skin is prepped right, applies beautifully. So I'm going to give you a close-up. Again, if you see any kind of texture or anything like that, that is dryness or peeling texture, this is not the KVD Beauty Good Apples foundation's fault. Okay, this is because my skin is compromised from another foundation I have reviewed. So I'm going to get close up right now and show you what my skin looks like. I applied this foundation at 10 a.m. It's now 2 p.m. When I applied it, it looked really smooth and really dewy and very hydrated. Right now, after a few hours, you can see a few of my lines in my forehead and between my brows and in my smile lines, unfortunately. And it is wearing off around my nose bridge where I wear glasses. Not too bad in my nose creases. So, you know, as I explained in my last video, because I'm a glasses wearer, I don't judge foundations too harshly if they wear away here. And I also don't judge them harshly if there's some collection here. Because that happens to me with every single foundation formula. But the gathering into the lines and everything, that I do judge a little bit more critically because not every foundation formula will enhance that for me. So, you know, it's moderate. I wouldn't say it's awful. This isn't that bad. Again, my skin is compromised, so unfortunately texture is a little bit more visible and apparent. However, previously when I had tried this, it looked lovely. My skin looked really natural and nice. So if you don't have skin issues or texture issues too badly, like if you don't have like flaky skin, then you'll like the effect on first application. But if your skin has flakiness in any way, then unfortunately this foundation is not going to hide that. You know, it's a shame, but this is all something that's, I think, worthy of putting into the review because it's important to note how finicky this foundation is and how you almost have to have a very specific skin type or skin condition in order to be able to get away with it. So that's my initial thoughts on the foundation. I will return at the end of the day to let you know my final thoughts. All right, see you then. Hey again, I'm back and it's the end of the day. I've been wearing this foundation for 13 solid hours, so I think, you know, I have enough info to give you my final thoughts on this foundation. So the first time that I had tried it, filmed it, reviewed it, but didn't post it, I had tried it with a powder I didn't like, which is the reason why I didn't post it. And I just didn't feel like I gave the foundation a fair shot. So this time around, the video that I am posting, I am using my usual powder, and I powdered appropriately, so I can give you a better picture of how this foundation performs. So the first time around that I used it, I did have one call out that the foundation didn't really set very well. And when I was applying my eyeliner and I would rest my finger on my face somewhere just to be able to steady my hand, wherever I pressed my finger, my foundation would pretty much immediately lift off. Now, in using my regular powder that I know and love, I don't find that problem is as exaggerated this time. Like I can press my fingers against my face, like even on my nose. It's going to come off, of course, because this is not a long wearing foundation. You can see it on my fingers, but it's really not as bad as the first time around. This foundation does have a lot of oil content, so naturally this is something that I would suggest for a drier skin type. And I feel like you will like this foundation more if you have the skin type that this type of foundation caters to. So if you're oilier or if you're combination to oily, this won't last. It definitely won't last on you. It will break down because of the high oil content. and I don't think you'll be satisfied with it. So if you're oily skinned or combination to oily, I would suggest this as a pass. For dry skinned folks though, I did feel like my skin the first time around was really nice and dewy looking at this stage of the day. You know, I still feel that way now, actually. And as I looked at myself in the mirror throughout the day with this foundation on, I did like it. I did like the finish. I felt like it kept looking better throughout the day over my compromised textured skin. You know, it still didn't camouflage it, to be honest. But I felt like because of the oil content in the foundation, it eventually kind of softened up any flakiness that I had and made it look a little bit better. In terms of lines, like, sure, at this stage of the day, I'm going to see a little bit of foundation kind of highlight maybe my fine lines, maybe my pores and other texture. You know, overall, I would say I'm 50-50 on this foundation. I'm mixed. It's pretty nice, but I do think that if you're looking for long wear, this isn't it. And it is something that I think you may need to touch up throughout the day. So you might need to blot, or you might need to put a little powder on it, or you might need to smooth out anywhere that it's gathered into the lines. Would I recommend it? Nah. You know, I think it's one of those things where if I just think a foundation is okay, or I'm 50-50 on it, why wouldn't I recommend something I like or something I find that's better? So I guess not. Sorry. If you like this review, comment, like, subscribe, ring the bell, you know the drill. I'd like to know what your thoughts on this foundation are. Do you think that you would buy it or not buy it after this review? And if you have tried this foundation, let me know what your experience was, because I'm very curious to know if it's similar to everyone else's experience on the internet, if it's similar to mine, or if it's completely opposite. Yeah, stay tuned. If you ring that bell, you'll be notified when I post my next video. And if you tuned into my very first video, you would know which foundations I'm going to be reviewing in this series. So just by process of elimination of the ones that I have posted thus far, which one do you think it's gonna be? Let me know.